Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today's video is on a couple of my favorite dwarf flowering trees. So I love to bring to you my favorites, and I do have so many of them. But both of the trees that I'm going to show you today and talk a little bit about are both dwarf trees. They both are spring flowering and they are both weeping variety. And I just think that all three of those things make them really great candidates for your garden, not just for your small space, but also because they tend to give us some seasonal appeal. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of them and why. So the first one on my list has just finished flowering. You can see a little bit of the flowers that are left. And this is the weeping cherry, and it's called Snow Fountain. Definitely one of my top favorites. And I'm going to show you a little bit of footage when it was in full bloom, and it's absolutely stunning. So the Snow Fountain cherry here does get about 8 to 12 feet tall and about 6 to 12 feet wide. It really does not need a lot of care, which I really love. But the weeping form here really gives it appeal all year round, because in the winter time when the snow is sitting on the weeping tree, it just really looks beautiful. And I have to tell you that the bark in itself is a really pretty color and a really great texture for your garden. So this little tree is a deciduous tree, which means that it is going to lose its leaves in the winter. But in the early spring, it flowers before the leaves come out, and it is really stunning. And then when you see that, you'll see why it's called Snow Fountain, because it really looks like it's just water cascading or snow cascading over a fountain. So this little tree would be really ideal for a Japanese garden, a foundation bed. I've used it in cottage gardens. It can be a specimen, it can be an accent tree. But what's really great about it is not just that it will give you seasonal appeal, it's that you can use it in some smaller spaces because it is a smaller tree. So a lot of us really love the standard weeping cherries, and those get kind of big. They're about 20 to 25 feet. And to be honest with you, I've used these in a lot of foundation beds. I like to anchor my corners, and I just make sure that I'm planting them away from the foundation a little bit, and they're really lovely there. They really give that nice vertical element to the garden, and they help soften harsh corners. Now in the fall, what will happen is the green leaves will turn a yellow or orange or even sometimes burgundy. So that will give you the spring, summer, fall, and winter appeal. So the next little tree that I'm bringing you today, and on this site, the two are in the same garden. So it's kind of fun that they're both here together. But this one here is a really bold and beautiful dwarf weeping tree. And this one is called a redbud, a weeping redbud, and it is Ruby Falls. So you can see right now, the weeping cherry is just finishing up and the redbud's just getting started with these beautiful, bright, purpley red buds here. And the bark on this tree is also really beautiful. But when these pop, we're going to have flowers all along the branches. So this is really a stunning little tree. And this tree, on average, will max out at about 10 feet tall. So it is another dwarf tree, which is also appropriate as an accent or specimen tree, or to incorporate into your cottage garden, your foundation bed, and it just gives you a lot of curb appeal. So for seasonal appeal, like I said, what happens is the buds come out first before the leaves, and then we're going to get some really pretty heart-shaped burgundy leaves. So really pretty large. I've also heard this tree called the sweetheart tree, and I've given it to some friends that have gotten married and on occasions for sweethearts. But then the leaves throughout the summer will turn green, and then in the fall they'll turn a really pretty yellow. And then of course you also have the weeping shape, which is really gorgeous with some snow sitting on the branches. So on average, this little weeping redbud is going to get about 6 to 10 feet tall and about 5 to 6 feet wide. But I do love both of these trees also because they are pretty low care. So it's pretty minimal pruning, and as long as you plant them in a full sun location, they will take a little bit of part shade with some really nice, fertile, well-drained soil, then you should be good to go. And then you're all set up really just to enjoy these two beauties. So thank you so much for joining me today. I love bringing you these videos, and if you like this one, please hit like and subscribe to us for some future gardening fun.